Good morning, good afternoon, at good evening mga boss. The topic that will be discussed in this video presentation is about the question document examination. No? So let us discuss the basic terms to ponder. Okay, so to start with, let us discuss what is a document. Okay, ano nga ba ang dokumento? So based on the general definition of a document, the document pertains to any material containing mark, symbol, or signs either visible o kitang-kita, partially visible or hindi siya gaanong kita, that may present or ultimately convey a meaning to someone, maybe in the form of pencil, ink, writing, typewriting, or printing on paper. No? So, dito sa general definition na ito, basta meron pong sulat, okay, meron po kayong makikita na ginamit na panulat at meron pong nakasulat at ito ay may meaning sa isang tao, it is considered as a document, no? Ayan. So tulad ng kasulatan, tulad po ng inyong diary, that is considered as a document, no? So the term document applies to writings, to words, either ito ay i-print or printed through the use of printer o lithograph, no? Yung isa sa ginagamit sa pag-print ng mga letters, yan, na kung saan ay meron pong ginagamit na model, no? And photograph, no? Like photocopy, yan, photostatic copy or photocopy to maps or plans, seals, or even plates, those written in the stones or which inscription are cut or engraved, no? In its plural form, documents may mean the deeds, agreement, titulo ng lupa, yan, letters, resibo, or other written instrument that is used to prove fact. No? So lahat ng kasulatan na pwedeng gamitin para patunayan ang katotohanan is considered as a document. And based on etymology, no, or based from the etymology of terms, the word document was derived fundamentally from the Latin word documentum, which means lesson or to teach, no? Kasi nga ang dokumento or document ay ginamit yan para magbigay aral sa mga susunod na henerasyon, especially noong unang panahon, no? Which is discussed on the succeeding videos. Yan. So, yun po yung documentum na Latin term, no? Kasi originally, ang mga dokumento ay ginagamit para magturo sa susunod na henerasyon, no? Especially noon sa pangangaso, ganon, o kaya sa pagtatanim, paano nga ba mangaso or paano magtanim, no? So, it may have been also derived from the French word docere, which means to teach, no? So, kung makikita natin, ay halos parehas po ang gamit noon ng document, okay? Or document, no? So, yung mga Latin, ginagamit nila to give lesson to those succeeding generations at ganun din naman ang French, no? So, it may have been derived from documentum, which means lesson or to give lesson, and it may have also been derived from the French word "serre," which means to teach. And so that is the main purpose of document before to teach or to give lesson. Okay, so what is the primary characteristics of a document? No, so document contains marks, symbols, or signs which convey a meaning to someone. At tandaan po ninyo, dyan pa lang sa definition ng document, alam na natin na meron pong ginamit na writing material or yung panulat at meron pong sinulatan or yung tinatawag na or writing materials, yun yung masusulatan or susulatan, at yung writing instrument, yun po yung ginamit panulat, no? So, based on etymology, sabi nga natin kanina, It may have been derived from Latin word documentum, which means lesson, no? Or French word docere, which means to teach. So, ano naman yung question since ang subject ay question document, no? So, ang question, syempre, pertains to any material which some issue has been raised or which is under scrutiny. So, lahat naman ng bagay na meron pong issue, no, ay tinatawag po nating questionable, no? Question. It is under analysis, kumbaga, no? Or ito ay pinag-aaralan. O bakit po siya pinag-aaralan? Kasi nga may issue na na-erase dito. Okay? Yan. So, ano naman yung question document? So, pag sinabi nating questionabling dokumento or question document, it may pertains to one which facts appearing therein may not be true. So, not necessarily na pag sinabi nating question, hindi na totoo. Yan. So, pag sinabi nating question document, sabi nga natin, it is under analysis. Okay? Na kung saan yung mga nakasulat doon ay maaaring totoo, maaari ding hindi totoo. No? That's why they are subject for scrutiny or they are subject for examination and are contested. Either yung buong dokumento or yung part lang niya, like for example, may alteration or yung signature lang, no? So it is being questioned because of its authenticity. Authentic ba? Yun bang dapat na pumirma ay siya nga ba ang nakapirma? Di ba? Yung bang office na nag-issue ay yun talaga ang nag-issue ng dokumento na yan. Okay? Or it may have been questioned because of identity or origin or yung pinanggalingan. It may be a deed tulad ng deed of sale o kaya pwede ring kontrata, pwede ring will, yan, election ballots, marriage contract, check visas, application form, check writer certificate, and other documents that could be questioned. Uh, pwede ring yung inyong PSA, birth certificate, marriage certificate, and so on. As long as there is an issue or as long as there is a contest about such document that is considered as question document, questionable. Yan. So, pwedeng questionable dahil sa pirma. No? So, tulad ng nakikita ninyo, no? Na iba't ibang klase ng pirma. No? So, kung makita natin yung original at saka yung dokumento na kanilang pineke, di ba? Ay syempre kung makikita nga naman nung sabihin na natin yung may-ari, no? So makikita ninyo yung genuine at saka yung pong random perjury, yan, unskilled forgery, bay talaga namang questionable yan mga kaibigan, no? So as long as there is an issue, no, or contests, that is to a document, to a document, no? Pag may issue sa dokumento, ang tawag niya question document, right? So ano naman po yung disputed document? What is disputed document? Disputed document suggesting that there is already an argumentation, no, or controversy over the document. And strictly speaking, yan nga po yung tawag nila sa isang dokumento na meron ng controversy sa korte. Yeah. So, disputed in question document, however, are being used interchangeably to signify document under special scrutiny. Pero meron bang difference? No, meron. Kasi hindi lahat ng question ay disputed, no? Pero lahat ng disputed ay questionable. Okay? So to answer this question, no, tingnan natin yung difference, ano? What is the key difference between questioned document and disputed document, although those two words are being used interchangeably in question document examination, no? When we say question document, It is a broader term, no, that includes any document subject to scrutiny or analysis. Ayan, whether or not a formal dispute exists. So, basta ang isang dokumento was subjected to analysis, no, or scrutiny submitted to the question document examiner, there is already a question about it, no? So that is already considered as question document, but not necessarily that it is a disputed document, no? While when you say disputed document, specifically pertains, specific, no? Na tumutukoy ito sa dokumento na kung saan ay meron ng legal or formal na argumentation, no? So ibig sabihin, meron ng case, yan, di ba? O disputed, no? It is already the center of a legal or formal argumentation. So that is the difference between question document and disputed document. However, take note they are being used interchangeably. All right? So, ano naman yung tinatawag nating standard, no? Sa examination ng question document, mga kaibigan, yung question document examiner ay kailangan pong mangolekta ng standard, no? Kung ang questionable document ay questionable dahil sa kanyang signature or dahil sa handwriting or dahil sa printed, gano'n, no? Pero kung alteration, hindi naman siyempre. Pero kung yung document nga ay questionable because of question signature, then the certain question document examiner must collect a standard para maging basis for comparison. Because if a certain document is submitted alone, no? Eh syempre ang pwede lang gawin ng isang examiner is just to analyze the specific details about the document, no? Pero kung mayroon ng standard, abay pwede nang mag-proceed sa comparison kasi meron ka ng basehan eh, no? Oh. So, ano ang standard? So, pag sinabi nating standard specimen, no? These are authentic specimen which source are known and can be proven. Okay? So, yan. So, authentic meaning yung magpe-prepare ay sa kanya nang galing, no? And ito ay po pwedeng ma-prove. At ang standard ay may tatlong klase na may acronym na COLREP, no? So, a standard could be a collected standard. So, ang collected standard ay galing sa mga known writings ng isang possible na sumulat na tao, yan, na alam mo na siya yung sumulat nun. So, for example, kung meron ka ng suspect na siya yung sumulat niyan at kukolektahin mo mula sa kanyang mga naisulat noon, yung tulad ng attendance sheet, yan, tulad ng pinirmahan niya sa bangko, ganon, collected standard. Okay? It is collected from known sources na po yan. So meron din tayong requested standard. Ito yung pinasulat mula doon sa mismong tao na hinihinalang siya nga ang pinanggalingan nung sulat na yan. Okay? And yung pangatlo ay yung tinatawag na post litem motam. Post litem motam is a type of standard which is executed, no, after a case was already filed in court. Ganon. So yan yung mga recent lamang na mga isinulat, no, nung isang tao na hinihinala na sumulat nga nung dokumento. Yan. So recent lang yan after a case was already after a case was already filed in court. That is called the post litem motam. So tatandaan po yung mga klase ng standard or standard document kasi yan ay importante sa question document examination, no? Because the standard ay i-compare nyo yan doon po sa questionable document because we cannot examine a document na may mga questionable writings, okay, or signature without a standard, no? Yan, except sa mga alteration syempre, no? Pero kung mga questionabling dokumento dahil may question ang pirma, you need standard to be compared to the questionable document. Okay? So what is exemplar naman as used in question document examination? When we say exemplar, it is a term that is technically used by document examiners and attorneys characterizing a known material. So ito na yung term, in short, na ginagamit para sa mga standard specimen or yung pong mga alam kung saan galing na specimen or yung mga authentic. Alright? So another term is holographic document. No? So what is a holographic document? No? So when we say holographic document, it pertains to any document completely written and signed by one person. Ikaw ang nag-prepare, ikaw na rin ang sumulat niyan, sulat kamay mo, at ikaw na rin ang nag-sign. No? Like last will in testament, na ikaw na ang sumulat, ikaw na rin ang gumawa ng huling tagubilin, at ikaw na rin ang pumirma. In number of jurisdictions, a holographic will can be probated or can be proven without anyone having witnessed its execution. All right. So next, what is a reference collection? So reference collection is also an important element in question document examination, especially when there is a question on the age of the document. The reference collection refers to any material compiled and organized by a document examiner to assist him in answering a special question. Pwede pong typewriting or typewritten, check writing specimen, ink, no? Pens, yung mga ball pen na kinolekta, pencil, and papers are frequently maintained. So for example, yung isang question document examiner, nangongolekta na ng mga dokumento, no? Na prepare ng 1970s, 1971, 1972, gano'n, no? So every year, sabihin na natin, or every 5 years, may collection ka ng mga papel, gano'n. Para sa gano'n, kapag ka merong questionabling dokumento na, for example, sabi nila ay prepare noong 1975 pa. So ang gagawin mo ay pupunta ka sa reference collection mo at tingnan mo yung papel na yan ay ginawa noong 1975. Tapos i-compare mo doon sa may papel, doon sa questionable document. Yun ang gamit ng reference collection. Di ba? So, ganun din kung sa ink, no? Kung sabi ay yung questionabling dokumento ay nai-prepare ng 1980, so ang gagawin mo lang ay tingnan mo lang yung collection mo, no? Doon sa year na binabanggit, no? So, then you compare it. Ganun po yung gamit ng reference collection. Okay? Next, so what are the legal basis of document? Ano nga ba yung mga legal basis ng document? No? So based from the legal perspective, ay hindi naman lahat ng sulat ay considered as document. Although generally, lahat ng may sulat at may meaning considered as document. But under the legal perspective, hindi naman lahat ng sulat ay considered as document, no? So in the case of People versus Moreno, no, a document is any written document which a right is established. So dapat may karapatan na na-establish sa isang kasulatan bago natin masabing yan ay dokumento, or secondly, an obligation is extinguished. May nawalang obligasyon. Okay? So, to give you an example, ano nga ba yung mga dokumento na kung saan may karapatan na na-establish? Examples of document that establish a right includes contract of sale. It is a document proving the right of ownership na ikaw ang bumili ng property na yon. Andyan din yung birth certificate which establishes a person's identity and citizenship. Yan, yun yung sinasabi dun sa case of People versus Moreno na may karapatan na na-establish. O, pwede rin yung land titles, di ba? Kasi yan ay proof of ownership ng isang bagay. Pwede rin naman yung pong certificate of employment which proves as an individual's employment status and rights to employment benefits. So nga naman, ano, kapag meron kang certificate of employment ay karapat-dapat lamang na makatanggap ka nung pong mga karapatan ng isang empleyado at yung mga benepisyo. Kasi nga meron kayong COE or Certificate of Employment. Therefore, a right is established. You have the right to receive what you deserve. Yan. Ano pa? We have also yung second na sinabi sa case of People versus Moreno, a document may also pertains to a document that extinguish an obligation. For example of a document that extinguish an obligation, you have receipt of payment. It extinguishes the obligation to pay the debt or balance. Kasi nga yan ay kasulatan na ikaw ay nabayaran na. Okay. Yan. So ano pa? Release or waiver. Waiver. So importante yan mga kaibigan, ano? Because that extinguishes something. It is a written agreement releasing a party from an obligation such as liability in accident. Yan. Kaya kapag ka pumirma ka sa waiver, di ba? Yan ay sinasabi na nawawalan ng obligasyon yung isang organization nasagutin, no? Yung mga dapat nilang panagutan kung pumirma ka doon sa tinatawag natin na waiver, mga kaibigan. Yan, no? We have also quit claim deed, no? Transfer interest in a property extinguishes the claim of the grantor. So yan yung unang legal basis ng document. Ano nga ba ang document legally speaking, ano? So yung pangalawa naman sa kaso ni People versus Niluskin, ano naman ang sinabi doon? A document is every deed or instrument executed by a person by which some disposition or agreement is proven. Evidences or set forth. No? So isa-isahin po natin. Okay, what are the examples of document proving a disposition, no, or yung kasunduan or agreement, no? So we have also there last will and testament is disposes a person asset to hires upon death. Yan, no? So yan ay ano ba yung nakalagay doon sa last will and testament, no? Yan ay itinatransfer na yung karapatan sa ari-arian, no, doon sa heirs pagkatapos na mamatay ang isang tao. You have also deed of donation. It proves voluntary transfer of property or asset without any compensation, no? Meron din yung divorce decree. Yan, divorce, di ba? It proves the legal dissolution of marriage. So yun yung mga example ng document which prove a disposition. And yung second statement, it is a document or it is a certain document that evidencing an agreement. So ano ba yung mga yon, ano? We have lease agreement. Yan yung kasunduan ng pag-upa. So set forth the terms of renting a property between landlord and the tenant. Yan. Then we have also the employment contract. There is an obligation and rights of employer and employee. Okay, so kung makita ninyo, halos parehas yung nakalagay sa kaso ni People versus Niluskin, no? At saka po yung People versus Moreno pagdating po sa isang kasulatan which evidence an agreement or proves an agreement. And yung pangatlo, no, under the original document rule or dati ang tawag ay best evidence rule in criminal jurisprudence, any physical representation of information or ideas such as yung sulat, no, or letter, kontrata, receipt, book of accounts, no, yun yung trail ng account ng isang company, yung blueprint ng mga engineers, ayan, or x-ray plate ay considered as valid evidence. Ayan, no? So those are considered as a document based from Blacklaw's dictionary. Okay? So yun po yung mga legal na basihan mga kaibigan ng dokumento. Okay? So yung susunod na topic naman, ano ba yung mga iba't ibang klase ng document, no? So what are the different kinds of document? Number one is public document. What is a public document, no? Any instrument notarized by a notary public, yun yung una, or pwede rin namang notarized by a competent public official with solemnities required by the law. So tatandaan dapat yung pong mga nagno-notarize ay dapat solemnize. That is according to the case of Cacnyo versus Baens. Yan, no? Dalawa yung klase ng public document. It could be notarized by a notary public na na-solemnize at syempre pwedeng inotarize or pwede rin naman na notarize ng mga competent public official, no? Ayan. So under section 19 rule 132 of the court or rules of court, public documents may pertain to written official acts or records of official acts of sovereign authority or bodies or tribunals, no? So dito sa rule 132 ng rules of court, ang mga official or yung mga public document ay kasama dito yung mga presidential proclamation tulad ng mga proclamation declaring martial law, holidays, are considered as public document. Decision of the Supreme Court or lower court, ordinances by local government units, diplomatic treaties or yung mga example, yung mga United Nations agreement, okay, official birth or death certificate ay considered as public document, no? So ano pa? Document acknowledged before a notary public, yung mga notarized na document, okay, tulad ng deed of sale ng property, tulad ng lupa, yan, vehicles, yan. Affidavit of loss na notarized by a notary public, contract or lease or mortgage, no, agreement are considered as public document as well. So third type of a public document, those public records kept in the Philippines of private documents required by the law to be entered therein. Dito na ipapasok yung mga dokumento na private pero yan ay naipasok sa government agency tulad po ng marriage contract recorded in civil registry, no, ay nagiging public once na yan ay naipasok sa civil registry or sa PSA, no. So articles of incorporation filed in the SEC or Securities and Exchange Commission, transfer of land title, no, na nairehistro sa Land Registration Authority, birth certificate na nairehistro doon sa PSA are considered as a public document. Ito yung papasok yung pangalawa dyan, notarized by competent public official. Alright? Then yung pangalawa na klase ng dokumento ay official document. So any instrument issued by government or its agent or its officers having the authority to do so and the offices which in accordance with their creation, they are authorized to issue and be issued in the performance of their duty. So dalawa tatandaan natin dito. Ano, una, dapat yung nag-issue ay may authority, no? At yung nag-issue ay government agency or agent ng government. At yung pag-i-issue ng document na yan ay parte ng kanilang trabaho. Ganon. So, yung birth certificate considered as public, pero pagdating dito ay pwede ring i-consider ito as official document. Di ba? Okay. O bakit kasi yan ay ini-issue ng PSA or Philippine Statistics Authority or local civil registry uh, as part of their function. Okay? So land title then ay considered as official document. O ano pa, yung pong barangay clearance na inisyu ng barangay, yun pong police clearance na inisyu ng PNP, NBI clearance na inisyu ng NBI as part of their function. So tatandaan natin yung official document, it is issued by government agency in which the issuance of the document is part of their function. Yun po ang official document, no? Then yung pangatlo na klase ng document ay private document. With every deed or instrument executed by private person without intervention of notary public. So yung sinulat nyo, nakasunduan ninyo na kung saan ay wala naman pong pirma ang abogado ay considered siya as a private document, no? So it is not notarized by notary public or any person legally authorized which document or some disposition or agreement ay pwedeng i-prove. Okay? So ano yung mga examples ng mga private document? You have handwritten personal letter, tulad ng letter promising that you will pay your debt, di ba? Receipt for informal transaction, handwritten receipt for selling a bicycle, okay, or motorcycle, private agreement simply written between yung nangutang at saka po yung nagpautang, di ba? Tulad ng inyong listahan ng utang ng Bombay considered as a private document, ano? Diaries are also included to include yung inyong excuse letters. Those are considered as private document. All right? Then commercial document pertains to any document executed in accordance with Code of Commerce. So may kinalaman ito sa bentahan ng property or benta. Okay, or pagbebenta. So may kasama ito sa mga business transaction when we say commercial document, So, examples ng mga commercial document, we have bills of lading or yung shipping agreement. Pag magpapadala kayo, di ba, may resibo that is considered as a commercial document. Promissory note used in business transaction. Stock certificate which prove ownership in a certain corporation na meron kang biniling stock. Invoice at saka yung mga resibo, sales invoice at yung mga resibo na ini-issue sa inyo pag bumibili kayo ng produkto. Yan ang proof ninyo na napapasa inyo na yung property, no? Bank draft o yung pong mga cheque are considered as commercial document. Okay, then yung panglima at pinakabago sa lahat ay yung electronic document or e-document. It exists only in electronic form such as data stored in computer, network, backup, archive, or storage media. Tulad ng emails, instant messages, calendars, audio files, data or handheld devices, animation, metadata, graphics, photographs, website, drawing, and other digital data at ito yung isa sa uso ngayon na pinipeke yung mga electronic document as long as the document are stored in the computer network or computer system ay considered as electronic document. Okay? So tatandaan po natin yung 5 klase ng document mga kaibigan. So we have the public document, we have official document, commercial document, diba? We have also the electronic document, no? And we have also the private document. Okay, now question, ano? Can a private document be a public document? Pwede bang maging public document ang isang private document? The answer is yes, no? So a private document can become a public document under certain condition. So ano yung mga conditions or ano yung mga possible ways na kung saan ang pribadong dokumento ay pwedeng maging public document? Una is via notarization, no? Notarization, natatandaan. When a private document is notarized by a notary public, notary public, ito yung mga abogado na solemnize ng Supreme Court para mag-notarize. So in short, hindi lahat ng abogado ay pwedeng mag-notarize po. So it becomes a public document in the sense that it is given the legal recognition and authenticity. No? So ibig sabihin ay tinatanggap sa court as evidence yan, no? At yan ay kinikilalang authentic or totoo yung mga nakasulat doon once na ito ay notarized. Kasi yun yung effect ng notarization or yung jurat na tinatawag po natin. For example, a private contract signed by two parties can become a public document when notarized because it attests to the authenticity of a document and make it admissible as evidence in court. Yun, no? So yun po yung via notarization. So pagka ang isang private document ay notarized, then it will become a public document. And second is via registration or filing the private document with a government office. So if a private document is filed or registered with government agency, it may become part of a public record. So it will become a public document. For example, a deed of sale, which is a private document filed with the registry of deeds, becomes a public document, as it is now part of public record concerning a property ownership. So yun po, no? A marriage contract then filed with the civil registry, private po yun, di ba? So agreement ng mag-asawa, but becomes part of public record once that it will be registered, no? Doon sa registry office. So yun yung dalawang paraan mga kaibigan na kung saan ang private document ay nagiging public document. Kaya once na naging public na ang private tapos pineke, ay ang kaso na po ay falsification of public document. Alright? So maraming salamat sa inyong walang kawang pagkikinig dito sa ating short video presentation, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you have learned something from yours truly. Once again, this is your Criminologies with the Pornographic Memories, Sami Bingwasan. Yes, so thank you very much. Good day and mabuhay po kayong lahat. No, sana ay meron kayong natutunan mula sa inyong abang lingkod.